Good morning, Enid. Welcome to Thursday, January 11, a very cold 29 degrees outside. Winds out of the north, it feels like 100 miles per hour, but officially it's around 35 miles per hour with gusts over 45. As you can tell, it's a windy city here in Enid, Oklahoma today. Grab a cup of coffee, and join us for the next 30 minutes as we provide some news, weather, and sports. And we want to say go Patriots today on Good Morning Enid. Thanks for joining us. We're all here. Thanks for joining us. It's time to rise and shine. 7:31 here on this cold Thursday morning at the Enid Television Network studios. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to show number 152. And as you can tell, you can probably hear the wind blowing, so let's take a quick look at the weather. And Erin has our bus stop forecast for us right now.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly out there today. Current temperature is at 29 degrees and dropping. The winds are 25 miles an hour to 40 miles an hour out of the north-northwestern. And it is supposed to just keep getting colder, and there's a wind advisory in effect from until 9 p.m. tonight. So dress warm. So
dress warm, yes. Stay low to the ground, as windy as it is. Okay, we have another big weekend, and Sarah, big plans for the weekend? Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to stay inside and stay warm.
Okay. Well, let's see what the 3-day forecast looks like.
As you can see, it's going to be, to me, it's still cold. So it's going to be cold, 40 and 47 on Friday and Sunday. So definitely a perfect weekend to stay in.
Yeah, and you can see the winds blowing too. So the wind chills will be probably single digit as well and stuff like that. Well, I think we can get the radar up this morning. And as Erin said, it's around 29 degrees and the temperature's dropping. So you can kind of see here in the state of Oklahoma some snow and in the southern part of Kansas and also northwest Oklahoma. It's all kind of moving from west to east, so there may be flurries here in the Enid area this morning around 9 o'clock or so. Nothing too organized, but as you can see on the radar, all the blue are snowflakes heading this way. And of course, the statewide, if you're traveling across the state, we have a new graphic that we want to show you here. You know, the state of Oklahoma is broken down into, what is that, 6 different areas? I'm trying to remember. I used to say 5 different areas. I spent many years in green country. Of course, green country is where all the trees, lakes, and that's why it's green country. It's just a gorgeous part of the state. But you can see how geographically we're all spread out. So in red carpet country, that's where all the snow is this morning, again, as that moves across. So, Penn, thank you for putting that together. Well, it's 7:33 on this Thursday morning. January is off and running, and school is in session. So let's take a look at the menu. And Erin, is it worth going to school today on a Thursday?
Well, if you're into fish sticks, then definitely fish sticks, macaroni and cheese, salad, zucchini slices, mixed fruit, and milk. So I think it looks pretty good today.
I like fish sticks, but I think I like Friday better. Grilled cheese sandwiches, seasoned wedges, pork, beans, apple slices, and milk. So I'd say I'll stay with Friday.
Grilled cheese is pretty good.
Yeah, fish sticks. Yeah. On a sad note, we want to just take a moment here at 7:34. Good friend of the Enid Television Network and a good friend of the Good Morning Enid show, Jack Rogers. Jack's a good friend of mine and also a good friend of the show. He passed away on New Year's Day. And Jack was kind of a coffee drinking buddy of mine along with several people, but he was just a true ambassador for the city of Enid, and also he just enjoyed what we did here at ETN. And he was 87, and Jack was one of the most humble individuals that you'd meet. I'm going to read some of the. It had a tremendous decorated service in the Army, and he retired as a sergeant, but he served in Korea, Japan, Germany, and also Vietnam. And this is just some of his decorations. I mean, the list goes on. But he had Silver Star, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, Korean Service, 7 stars, Vietnam, 3 stars, Good Conduct, 6 knots, Korean Defense, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Gallantry Cross with Palm, and also had the Korean Presidential Unit Citation. Jack, extremely decorated as an Army veteran. Miss him as a drinking buddy, but we wish his family, again, in our thoughts and prayers. So, Jack, we will miss you. Thank you for your contribution to our community. And also, services for Norman Lamb is today. As many people know, Norman Lamb and his contribution in Enid and also in the state as a military individual, and also served in our legislature for a number of years. The services for Norman, which is Todd Lamb, our Lieutenant Governor, his dad. Services for Norman will be at 1 o'clock today here in Enid, Oklahoma. So we want to take just a quick minute and recognize Jack Rogers and Norman Lamb and their contributions. Well, the morning's getting away. It's 7:35, a cold 29 degrees outside, and you can hear the wind, so just bundle up as you get out. And it's time for the Oklahoma Minute with the bow tie guy, Mr. Derek Silas.
State Question 788, which would legalize the use of marijuana for medicinal purposes, was scheduled by the governor last week for the June primary. According to K4, the interim director of the state health department says the agency isn't equipped to roll out the law if passed by voters this summer. A new land-run steakhouse restaurant will be opening in spring of 2018 by the Zaccuti family, owners of the current Napoli's Italian restaurant. And in sports, last night, Oklahoma City Thunder took on the Timberwolves with a win in Minnesota's favor, 104-88. And in high school sports, tonight, Enid High will take on Dale City at 6 o'clock, girls, and the 7:30 for the boys. And fun fact in Oklahoma, other than English and Spanish, Oklahomans speak Vietnamese more than any other language, according to the most recent U.S. Census American Community Survey. And on this day in history in 1908, President Theodore Roosevelt makes the Grand Canyon a national monument. And that's the Oklahoma Minute. Now, here's Brooke for upcoming events at the Central National Bank Center.
Good morning, Enid. We had a great start to 2018 with a sold-out championship bull riding battle on the Great Plains. It was an amazing audience. It was a ton of fun. We missed you if you couldn't make it. Hopefully it'll be back next year. We'd love to have it again. But it was a great start, like I said, to 2018 with a sold-out audience. Now, we have several other upcoming events this year. We just announced the Downtown Basketball Festival. That's here on February 2nd and 3rd, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors and Herc Rentals. You can find a full schedule on our website at cmbcenter.com. Next week, we have more basketball with the Skelter Tournament. That's, again, right here at the Central National Bank Center. We also have the Wedding Show on January 28th. That's this month in the Convention Center in the Grand Ballroom. That's going to be an amazing event. So if you know anyone that just recently was engaged, be sure to send them here for the Wedding Show. Also this year, we have Casting Crowns. That is going to be here on March 22nd. We also have Ron White on Friday, May 18th. Tickets are available for both of those events. Be sure to come here to the box office or go to our website for a full list of all of our upcoming events. Thanks, and back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Derek, and thank you very much, Brooke, for that information. We just want to take a moment to remind you all that if there's anything you want to share with us, please share it at gme@enid.org. You can send any comments, questions, suggestions, photos. We want to hear from you. Very happy to be able to introduce the next segment. I love everything that takes place on the weekends and gives an opportunity for the family to go out. And although I choose to stay in this weekend, here is Erin to tell you what's going on during the weekend here at Enid.
Thanks, Sarah. This is what's happening this weekend. Tonight, there is an event at the Enid Public Library called Intro to Genealogy. It's an event if you want to learn more about your family lineage or family history. They will teach you where to start looking. So if you're interested in learning more about that, head over to the Enid Public Library at 5 p.m. today. And if you can't make it today, it also is occurring again next Thursday. Then Friday morning, we have the 22nd annual KNID AgriFest, which will be from Friday and on Saturday at the Chisholm Trail Expo Center. It will have over 300 vendors with over $150 million worth of agricultural products and services. There will be dancing, music, and a bunch of other fun events happening at this. And they also have OSU President Burns Hargis and U.S. Senator James Inhofe, who will be there kicking it off. So if you're interested in buying a tractor or having a good time, definitely head over to the AgriFest. Then next Thursday, the Turbine Theater reopens with the grand reopening of the A.R. Gurney play called Love Letters. It was a finalist for a Pulitzer Prize in drama, and it's about two characters reading letters, notes, and cards from over 50 years of their life, and that's what's happening.
That is what's happening. Okay, so we know that Sarah's not a big football fan, but undoubtedly, since I'm a big Patriots, who are you rooting for?
The Vikings, obviously. They're going to make it all the way this year, I think.
Yeah, listen to that, Sarah. She's so confident in her Vikings. We'll see. Anyway, big football weekend, at least in the NFL this weekend. All right, it's 7:41, a cold 28 degrees outside, and folks, we've reached today's high. It's going to get colder as we go through strong northwesterly winds, and as we mentioned earlier, there's a wind advisory. So if you have a high, visibility or a high standing like a truck, 18-wheeler, be careful out there on those windy highways this morning. Okay, it's time to introduce a special guest that we have this morning, and we're going to do that right after this.
We took all the old stuff out of the studio, just completely gutted the studio, took the lights down, took the furniture out, took everything out, got a nice new piece of carpet, got the furniture in that we're using for the set this year, then rehung all the lights.
Got a bowl.
And what happened is we got a lot smoother lighting with a lot less instruments. We have now 6 instruments left over, and we were running out of lighting instruments. So that's a big improvement.
Good morning, Enid. Thank you for joining us again on this Thursday, January 11. And as you know, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday, federal holiday, is coming up next Monday. And the city of Enid has joined forces with the Enid Commission for the Dr. Martin Luther King Commission, I should say. And our special guest this morning is Pat Stevenson. She's a friend of everyone here in the Enid community. Good morning, Pat. Thank you for joining us. Tell us, what is the role of the Martin Luther King Commission here in Enid, Oklahoma? What's the purpose of that commission?
The purpose of the commission? Well, my purpose is to get the community together, and we feel like the Martin Luther King celebration invites the whole community to let them know what's going on in the community and to keep Dr. Martin Luther King's dream going. So we like to keep it going, so that's the purpose of the commission.
Okay. And I should have mentioned here at the outset that Pat serves as the chairperson of the Martin Luther King Commission. So you're one of the key decision makers. So thank you for joining us this morning.
That's right. Thank you for joining us, Pat. I've heard a lot about you. This is the first time I meet you, so I'm really glad that you're on the show this morning.
Thank you.
Why, can you tell us a little bit of why you are involved and why you serve on this commission?
Well, I'm involved because I am a community person and I love people. So at the time when we started, this is my first year being the chairperson, but I just feel like it's important for myself to be involved, to let other people know and realize it's very important to keep this going. And I just love the people, and Dr. Martin Luther King was a person that loved people, and he showed his love by doing things. And I feel like if people get involved, it's important.
You said just a few moments ago, Pat, that, again, one of the reasons you're involved and one of the roles of the commission is to celebrate diversity. So what's your personal opinion on why it's important to celebrate diversity here in Enid?
Well, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King was a advocate for diversity. I feel like his main thing was diversity. He wanted all people, you know, his speeches, all people to be treated equal. That was his thing. He was for equality, and that included everybody. So I felt like he was a diverse person. And here in Enid, we have a lot of diverse here in Enid, you know. So I feel like if we can get all the diversity involved in it, it would show that we're still keeping his dream alive.
So I seen some pictures of this last weekend. You guys had a really great weekend. I know that there was a really good breakfast on Saturday.
Yes.
I used to go to Central Assembly, so that's the reason why I got to see some of the pictures. Can you tell us a little bit of what was the goal or the purpose of this breakfast?
Well, the purpose of the breakfast was because another thing, Dr. Martin Luther King was a man of God, I felt like. And it was to get the people, it was a prayer breakfast. And it was just get the community together and show how we can come together in unity as praying, because that's what we felt like it's going to take, prayer, you know. And we had the pastors from different churches, and we felt like the breakfast was just a start of getting the community to come together, pray, and just that's what Dr. Martin Luther King was about. So, and the breakfast went over really well.
It's very good. Good morning, Enid. It's 7:46. Our special guest this morning, Pat Stevenson, the chairperson for the Martin Luther King Commission here in Enid, Oklahoma. Pat, Saturday will be a big day. Monday will be the official federal holiday, but Saturday is a big day here in Enid, Oklahoma. There is a march, I understand, and also a celebration service. Tell us about what we can expect on Saturday.
Well, Saturday, the march begins at 3:00 p.m. if the weather permits. If the weather is really, really cold and the wind's really blowing, we will cancel the march. But it will begin at 3, and it starts at the Central National Bank Event Center, and we'll march about 4 blocks around, and we'll end up back at the event center, and at 4 o'clock the program starts. The celebration actually starts at 4 o'clock. So if the weather's bad, we won't march, and you can come and get seated, or we will start on time at 4 o'clock at the celebration.
The celebration service, tell us kind of in detail what that's all about. If somebody's watching for the first time and they've heard about each year the celebration service and the Dr. King events, but what specifically will take place?
Well, what will take place, we'll have our mayor there to give our welcome.
Okay.
And then we'll have a keynote speaker, which is Dr. Ed Rollins. He's a local from here in Enid. We'll have Leona Mitchell, our opera singer. She'll give us a solo. And we'll also have the community choir. They'll give us a solo. And we also have diversity awards that we'll give out to different people that we felt like has made a difference in the community. And those will be a nonprofit, an individual, and a business that we'll give an award to. And then we have the children that's participated in the post and essay contest. And this year we added the poetry contest. And we'll have the children there that has won first, second, and third place. And we'll also give them, we'll reward them for that. And then we'll have a monologue skit. Now the program is gonna last hopefully an hour. So hopefully everybody starts on time, get there and everything. So then we'll have a monologue, and then we'll wrap it up with the special dinner that's provided by the City of Enid, which we appreciate so much. Directly after the program, we'll have a special dinner served that day at 5 o'clock. The dinner will be served.
Okay.
So that's what
Very
it
good.
consists of.
So, Pat, every community event, in order to be successful, requires support from the community. If there's anyone out there that still wants to support this, this event, or they would like to donate, can you tell us a little bit about how anybody out there can give to this?
Yes,
Excuse me, because you have that scholarship fund
yes. And if you want
that
to,
people need to know about.
you can contact Stephanie Carr at the City of Enid, and I don't have her number in front of me, but you can contact any of the members at the City of Enid, and they will give you her number to donate. And we have lots of sponsors, and we appreciate all our sponsors, because we have the Martin Luther King Scholarship Fund that we help a student when they're going off to college. They get a scholarship for the whole 4 years they're in college, and we turn this over to the Intergenerational Women. They're part of this scholarship, and they supply the student, and they nominate, they pick. We just turn it over to them.
And I would like to add, if anybody wants to contact Stephanie Carr directly, you can always use her email. It's scarr@enid.org. That would also be a great method to be able to donate for this cause.
Yes.
Pat, it's really, for me, it's hard to imagine it's been 50 years since the tragic death of Dr. King. 50 years. It just seemed like, I don't know when, but 10 years used to be a long time, 25 years used to be a long time, but here 50 years since the tragic death. There's a quote that we've kind of, or you guys have incorporated in your event this year. It says, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And that theme is associated with the 2018 event here in Enid, but also across the country. That quote, what does that mean to you? And that's one of Dr. King's quotes.
Well, because he was for justice, you know, and he wanted to make sure that everybody was, like I say, treated equal. And that was one of his themes, injustice and everywhere, not just in one place, but justice for everybody, everywhere. And we went on with that theme, and that's what we feel like that we can help people realize, that justice for everyone. Yeah.
It seems like when Memorial Day comes around, that it's almost a lake holiday. Veterans Day is a little bit different, July 4th. We always have these different holidays and different meetings, but I think it's important that when we get to Dr. King's day, if you will, that we really set aside time as individuals and also as a country to remember individuals that have given so much for us, even 50 years later. That's quite a legacy.
Yes.
To be remembered 50 years later of the commitment and what Dr. King stood for. So, Pat, Sarah and I have just kind of been throwing some questions at you this morning. Is there anything that you want to share about really the commission or the event? I mean, we have time.
Well, we just want everybody to come out and feel welcome to come to the event. We have plenty of room, and all the city commissioners, we just would like to have everyone to come out. Everyone's welcome. And this is big for us because it's the 50th year, like he says, since his assassination, and we want to just really make it big. And because Dr. Martin Luther King, he was a man, to me, I think he was a man of God, and he loved people, and he was a man of integrity, and he really focused on everybody being treated equal. He was really for equality. So we feel like if we can get the whole community involved, and it's really been good this year. We really appreciate all the people that has been involved. We've had a lot of people that's really helped us a lot. City of Enid, and of course, Mr. Kind has been really kind in helping us with everything. So we would love for y'all to come out. 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock for the march. If it's not bad weather, we're gonna march. And Dr. Martin Luther King march, he was a march for peace. We're gonna have a peaceful march. That's what he was all about. It wasn't nothing rowdy or anything. We wanna just show that we still wanna carry his legacy on and just keep it going every year. And I think it's better this year than it was last year. And I think it'll get better and better. And we appreciate everybody that has been involved with it.
Thank you, Pat. Pat Stevenson, chairperson for the Martin Luther King Commission here in Enid, Oklahoma. So it's 7:53 on a cold Thursday morning. Sarah, what's next?
Well, in case you missed it earlier, here is Derek with the Oklahoma Minute.
State Question 788, which would legalize marijuana for medicinal purposes, was scheduled by the governor last week for the June primary. According to K4, the interim director of the state health department says the agency isn't equipped to roll out the medical marijuana law. A new land-run steakhouse restaurant will be opened in the spring of 2018 by the Zacuti family. And last night in sports, Oklahoma City Thunder took on the Timberwolves with a loss, 104 Minnesota, 88 OKC. In high school sports, tonight, Enid High will go up against Dale City at 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Here's a fun fact in Oklahoma. Other than English and Spanish, Oklahomans speak Vietnamese more than any other language. And on this day in history, 1908, President Theodore Roosevelt makes the Grand Canyon a national monument. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
Very good. Thank you, Derek. It's 7:54. Let's take a look at the 3-day weather forecast, if we could, one more time with the march coming up. And so, Pat, Saturday's looking cold, as you see right there.
Yes, it is.
So again,
No march. Just
Yeah.
cancel it now.
so again, the march at 3 o'clock is weather permitting. Look like 27 on the screen, so I don't think it may
Maybe it'll warm up by 3 o'clock.
Maybe it'll warm up
27,
by
It
3.
might warm up by 3 o'clock.
I don't know. I would cancel it just by looking at 40.
Last year we marched at 29.
Oh,
But it
tough.
wasn't any wind.
Got to be tough. You got to
Yes,
be
put
tough.
that hat and scarf on.
Yeah. I think we have some city announcements that we want to share. Maybe Sarah can help us with that. I think we have, let's see, what is it, commission meetings coming up? Or I thought we had maybe another, yeah, that's commission meeting because of the holiday.
Right. We have a city commission meeting Thursday, January 18th. You can also watch it on channels 12 and 112 if you don't make it.
Yeah, and we're live streaming that as well. And are you off Monday?
Sure am.
You sure am.
I don't know about you, Steve, but I know I am.
Sound like she's from Oklahoma. Sure am. Okay, so here's the holiday schedule. And I guess the only organization or department that's open is landfill, right?
Solid waste. That's
Yeah,
right.
solid waste. So if you're a trash pickup normally, and Sarah's well versed on this, tell us how that works, Sarah, on holiday.
So if your trash is normally scheduled to be picked up on Monday, make sure you bring it out on Wednesday, not on Monday, because it'll be picked up Wednesday.
Very good, very good. Cold 29 degrees out there, and 756. 249-4910 has been a very favorite number of ours and for you because you've helped us adopt hundreds of pets through 2017, and we appreciate that. Now we have Charlotte Ringwald. She has another pet to offer up for adoption.
Good morning. Today I have Godiva. She's a little terrier mix. She's female, about 5 months old, and right now she is in pen 5. She's looking for a new home. She's really shy and loving, but I think when she's in a good home, she'll warm up real fast.
We have just a few minutes left this morning. Can we put the radar back up by any chance before we get to 8 o'clock? By the way, I want to remind everybody that at 8 o'clock we'll have the interview with LaFaye Austin and also Pat Stevenson. There we go. Thank you, Penn. Had the chance to visit. Is that you, Pat? Is that really you? Yeah. So we had that great interview, and they talk about a lot of things, and that will be at 8 o'clock this morning. Okay, the radar. My mistake. Sorry about that. As you can see, the snow's kind of dissipated. It was moving west to east, and it's kind of staying up in Kansas. So basically, what we're going to get today is cold and a lot of wind. So keep that in mind. Great weather, though, for the New England Patriots. They love that cold weather. But anyway, so any closing thoughts, Pat? We've got less than a minute. We just appreciate
hope to
you
see
joining.
everybody and pray that the weather's good
Okay.
so we
Right.
can march.
Okay, very good. So your plans are to stay in.
Yes, I am not going to be
You're not
attending
marching.
the march. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The celebration service doesn't cost anything, does it?
Doesn't
Your prayer
cost
breakfast
anything.
did pay for the food and all, but for the celebration service,
It
there's
doesn't
no
cost anything. It's provided by the city of Enid.
Okay, okay, very good. It's at Convention Hall, so keep that in mind. Well, Pat, again, we appreciate what you do and what the MLK Commission does here in the city of Enid and your efforts to keep that legacy and memory alive. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Everybody have a great day. It's time for us to leave. We just appreciate you joining us here on Good Morning Enid. Bundle up. It's a cold 28 degrees out and the wind chill is probably in single digits. So make it a great day, everyone. Thank you.